Waylon Live is a live album by Waylon Jennings, released on RCA Victor in 1976. Jennings first gained fame as a live performer at a club called J.D.S in Phoenix, Arizona in the early 1960s. A disciple of Buddy Holly, with whom he toured before the rock and roll pioneer's death in 1959, Jennings and his band The Wailers played many styles of music, including folk, rock, and country, and it was on the basis of his local fame throughout Arizona that he was signed to RCA Victor in 1966 by Chet Atkins. However, the Texan quickly became disillusioned with the lackluster sound of his recordings, especially when compared to his live shows. He began demanding the right to record with the Wailers and produce his own records, and by 1972 RCA, regretting the loss of Willie Nelson to Atlantic and under siege from Waylon's new manager Neil Reshead, gave in. What followed was an unprecedented string of critically acclaimed albums, including the groundbreaking Honky Tonk Heroes in 1973, widely regarded as ground zero for the outlaw country movement. Reshead also booked Jennings and his band into clubs not known for country music, like Max's Kansas City and New York City. In the CMT episode of Inside Fame about his life, Jennings recalled that he told the jaded rock audience he was from Nashville and would be playing country music, adding, "We sure hope you like it, but if you don't like it you better keep your mouth shut, 'cause we will kick your ass." When met with the audience's reply of "Who the hell are you?" Jennings replied, "I'm Waylon goddamn Jennings." In late September 1974, as his single I'm a Ramblin' Man was riding high on the country singles charts, Jennings and producer Ray Pennington recorded 3 shows with the Wailers, 1 at Dallas Western Place and 2 more at Austin's Texas Opry House. The original LP assembled from these shows is one of Jennings' most highly praised releases and includes some of his most popular songs, including Rainy Day Women, This Time, and Good-Hearted Woman. The latter track had been included on Wanted. The Outlaws with an overdubbed vocal by Willie Nelson and released as a single, hitting number 1 on the Billboard Country Singles Chart and peaking at number 25 on the pop chart. The album also contains songs not found on his previous records, such as the Jimmy Rogers song T for Texas, a cover of Nelson's Me and Paul, and Rex Griffin's anguished 1930s lament The Last Letter. The album is best known for Bob Wills' Still the King, which had appeared as the B-side to his 1975 number 1 hit Are You Sure Hank Done It This Way? The Wills tribute, which Jennings introduces as a song I wrote on a plane between Dallas and Austin, took aim at country trends, including the outlaw country movement that he and friend Willie Nelson had done so much to create. As author Michael Stryaskov observes, it was another delightful example of Waylon's eagerness to poke fun at the highfalutin music industry, in this case, Willie Nelson, and the redneck rock thing down in Texas. It don't matter who's in Austin / Bob Wills is still the king. According to Rich Kienzle's liner notes for the 2003 expanded edition, Jennings had originally planned on releasing a double album, but the idea was dropped simply because double albums were not considered viable in country music, although they were very popular in rock music. In 1999, a revised CD version restored the 9 extra tracks like Jennings had wanted, including the outlaw anthem Lonesome, Ornery and Mean, the Chris Christopherson songs The Taker and Loving Her Was Easier Than Anything I'll Ever Do Again, and the Willie Nelson composed Pick Up the Tempo. In 2003, an expanded deluxe version was released that contained 42 tracks taken from the 3 shows, making it the definitive document of Jennings' live sound in this mid-70s prime. Jennings is backed by his band The Wailers, including drummer Richie Albright and the legendary steel guitarist Ralph Mooney. Mooney, who had previously played with Bakersfield singers Win Stewart, Buck Owens, and Merle Haggard and had co-written the country standard Crazy Arms, is in especially fine form on the recordings, with Jennings calling out Picket, Moon, on several instrumental breaks. In his essay for the 2003 expanded edition of the album, Rich Kienzle notes, "Moon was the unifier within the Wailers. His sharp-toned, economical style gave the band's disparate musical elements cohesion. He played exactly what the song needed, no more, no less. His playing made a greater point. Waylon's sound might have roared more than some purists and old-timers might have liked. In that era, a few reactionaries actually felt he was assaulting all that country held dear. But with Moon riding shotgun, it couldn't have been anything but country." On Nelson's Me and Paul, Jennings changes the tagline to Me and Tom Paul, a reference to his good friend and fellow outlaw renegade Tom Paul Glazer, and he mentions Billy Joe Shaver by name on the Shaver-written Willie the Wandering Gypsy and Me. On Ladies Love Outlaws, he proclaims that outlaws touch ladies anywhere they want, and utters a loud goddamn on laid-back country picker and again menacingly on the taker. a rarity for a country singer on record at the time. Waylon Light hit number 1 on the Billboard Country Albums chart and number 46 on the Pop Albums chart. Stephen Thomas Erlewine of AllMusic writes, as one of the great live albums, Waylon Live is nearly flawless, a snapshot of Waylon Jennings at the height of his powers. It winds up as one of the great country records and one of the great live albums, capturing a movement at its peak and transcending it. Mark Grail-Samer of Amazon.com, when the tapes rolled over 3 nights in the fall of 1974, Haas and company were at the peak of their powers, growling menacingly at some times, purring seductively at others, with the steady, sturdy, unshakable rumble of bassist Duke Goff and drummer Richie Albright laying the groundwork and steel guitar master Ralph Mooney vividly coloring throughout. T for Texas, Jimmy Rogers, 403. Rainy Day Woman, Waylon Jennings, 233. Me and Paul, Willie Nelson, 333. The Last Letter, Rex Griffin, 354. I'm a Ramblin' Man, Ray Pennington, 246. Bob Wills is Still the King, Jennings, 318. Pick Up the Tempo, Nelson, 337. Good-Hearted Woman, Jennings, Nelson, 259. House of the Rising Sun, Trad. J.R.R. Allen Price, 341. Me and Bobby McGee, Fred Foster, Christofferson, 446. This Time, Jennings, 414. T for Texas, Jimmy Rogers, 403. Rainy Day Woman, Waylon Jennings, 233. Me and Paul, Willie Nelson, 333. The Last Letter, Rex Griffin, 354. I'm a Ramblin' Man, Ray Pennington, 246. Bob Wills is Still the King, Jennings, 318. Tracks 7 to 15 are bonus tracks from the CD reissue. Lovin' Her Was Easier Than Anything I'll Ever Do Again, Chris Christofferson, 408. Look Into My Teardrops, Don Bowman, Harlan Howard, 239. Lonesome, Henri and Mean, Steve Young, 313. Freedom to Stay, Bill Hoover, 359. Big Bulbs and Countdown, Hoyle Nix, 236. The Taker, Christofferson, Shel Silverstein, 212. Mississippi Woman, Red Lane, 202. Mona, Miriam Eddy, 321. Never Been to Spain, Hoyt Axton, 505. Pick Up the Tempo, Nelson, 337. Good-Hearted Woman, Jennings, Nelson, 259. House of the Rising Sun, Trad. Ed. Allen Price, 341. Me and Bobby McGee, Fred Foster, Christofferson, 446. This Time, Jennings, 414. Waylon Jennings, vocals, lead guitar. Richie Albright, drums. Duke Goff, bass. Larry Whitmore, 12-string guitar. Roger Crabtree, harmonica. Billy Ray Reynolds, guitar, harmony. Ralph Mooney, steel guitar. Chart performance